The messenger was never important. It was always the message. There's a constant universal message that has been traveling through seemingly space and time, through the human evolution of our awareness, and through this space and time, through the history that has been documented through scriptures from all aspects and all cultures and all belief systems. It was always the message. The message may have come across different languages, different lingos, different senses of expression. But the constant was that once the message is received, there's no longer a message or a messenger. If you pay attention to the history of divine messengers, unfortunately, people would put aside the message and begin to worship and crown the messenger. This was never the messenger's intent. It never has been. It never will be. Unfortunately, due to greed, power, energy harvesting, human energy harvesting, can only be understood in the astral realms and above, within our multidimensional reality. But it's up to the individual to start to see within so that they can understand how their aura, how their electromagnetic field emits a particular energy that is harvested and has always been harvested. And will continue to be harvested until you see and you wake up and awaken to the message. But because of this greed, because of this power, because of this imprisonment / slave mentality of a labyrinth that they've created to keep you occupied within your fragmented reality as a soul experiencing a human, if you stay within the construct of their creation, the creation that you were born into, if you do not attempt to look outside the box from within, then you are exactly where they want you. Christ consciousness, Buddha, many ascended divine masters came in here from many evolved, many aspects within our time's evolution, repeated as a wave of cycles. These forces, these entities that have made these agreements with humans, humanoids, reptilians in the flesh form, continue to wipe away the minds, the teachings of humans as they're born here. And one way in doing so is cutting off the head of the snake. The twist here is, when I say that, is that by cutting off the head of the snake of our humanity is by taking our divine messengers, crowning them, and teaching us to worship them. As soon as you worship them, you agree to relinquishing your divine power, your divine light, your source conscious light rays that you are created from. You do not connect with source once you're saved. You do not connect with source once you see source. You connect with source once you realize who you are. The message may come in many different forms, many ways, many languages, many interpretations. But the pearl of the wisdom within the message is eternally sane, complete, whole, the necessary peace to keep no longer the fragmented soul to be in pieces. I'll give this example, and it may sound pretty fundamental, but it's valid. It's more than valid. It's 95 to 97% of humans experiencing. Children in the United States, sound like I'm a politician now. Children in the United States start school, kindergarten, preschool from 4 to 5 years old. They go on to high school. They graduate by the time they're 18, 19 years old? And that's not going to college. So that's 14 years of their life. Go to college, let's say, 19 years, of their life. So anywhere from 14 to 19 years of almost everyone's life that you know have been living in books and studies and reading. Let's be honest. How many people do you know walk around life representing the books that they have read? Almost everyone you know has gone to school for as long as you could remember. And how many of those people do you see walking like their history books from 3rd grade or high school, walking with the lessons of mathematics, representing their high school as they speak? I know I like to say it, I'm probably proud of it, but I went to Eastside High School, home of the mighty ghost, and the mascot was an actual ghost, right? If you haven't seen the movie Lean On Me, go see it, that's my high school. Imagine if I'm speaking in my town and people say, oh yeah, I know you're from Eastside High School. Yeah, I could tell. No, they'll probably say, I know you're from Patterson, I could tell. See, how you live accordingly within your social norms, within your family, within your people, within your town. That's how people would recognize you. But I would argue almost 0% of the people walk around this earth, 0, that means they don't, with everything that they've trained in when it came to studies from books that they lived in their entire lives. So what is the whole point of what I'm trying to say is that it's not in human nature to live by the book. That slogan was created to mind manipulate you in so many ways. That's just the beginning of it. To keep you away from true school, which is outside. The farm, the woods, the park, the trees, caves, the shoreline, lakes. Humans are designed to learn from the environment that they're inhabiting. And from there, school should be placed. I'm talking about the majority of schools. I'm talking like public schools and the majority of like the world. Schools should be representing the demographics and the environment. Now, it would not make sense now because the way policies and laws are created, you would actually have to dismantle all of this to create something new. And unfortunately, people would think that what I'm saying is a caveman's mentality. And that's how deep the ignorance lies. I'm sorry, the stupidity at this point. Redundancy is ridiculous. You are the living scripture. You are the living book. And every second that you do not see that within yourself is 1 second that you have given permission for your actual vital life force to be siphoned. And just like most people I know don't walk around representing their high schools, I also know a lot of, or a majority of people, I'm not going to say most, do not know how to bring back, reclaim the energy that has been siphoned, to protect and to seal their Merkaba, to activate their aura, and to work within the 7 keys of the chakra system. And it begins with understanding color variance and how the resonance and the frequency of color becomes, like, let's say, indigo. And what can you do with that color variance? What can you do with infrared, being the root chakra? How can you work with those color variants within you by literally tasting, smelling, sensing, hearing, almost like music, the very vibration that exists and is existing simultaneously within your auric field of the 7 keynotes. And yes, you have a lot more than 7 chakras. I believe you have over 120 something. Is it 124? Something like that. But most people do not get past their first two. They barely can see life through the three. And I'm not speaking to anyone in this video. I know that. But it's a reality check to remind us that the people who are running this world are seeing things from a very sick patriarchy yet still. And there's a note saying, if you want to see who somebody is, see who they walk with. Show me who you walk with, I will tell you who you are. This is not limited on an individual and small circle level. Once you become more conscious, and I didn't say awakened, but more conscious, if you walk in a community, a demographic, even if you think you're not part of them, they have already, on a subconscious and unconscious level, reprogrammed your aura and has re-encoded your very presence. So when I say show me who you're walking with, it's not just your family and friends. It's not who you live with at home. It's also the town that you live in. It's also the church that you go to or you don't go to. Let's expand it even more. The veil has lifted, whether you see it or not, with all the wars that are happening and going on right now. And you feel hopeless. So now imagine those living in war because they just happen to be born there. So if you live hopeless, it's because you do have a capacity to show a sense of compassion that could be unworldly. And because of that, you have to understand your capacity to embrace and to protect an entire planet if you had the power to do so right now. But because you believe that you don't have the power, you live as such because you think that you're just one human. So you feel hopeless or you feel hopeful. But neither of those two will savage those humans and save them from the horror that they're going through right now. Whether it's through Palestine, Iran, and other places that are not mentioned in the news and have been since the beginning of time. So we live in separation. So we were born in a planet that lives in separation. Show me who you're walking with, and I'll show you who you are. Would you dare yourself to start seeing yourself as a human representing Mother Earth within you? You don't have to call yourself the president of your own country. No. This is not philosophical. This is not just an emotional moment. This is a realignment to see how deep and profound you are in relationship to how deep you have gone within your human's evolution. What is real? What is the illusion? Do you see what I see? It's always the message that you walk with. The messenger was always a version of you, not yet realized.